contributing to a disfigurement of the face of the church. We humbly ask forgiveness, he said.
So, Obi Aushata defeated Obi Nuse.
Those are Pope John Paul II.
Oh,
yeah,
asking for forgiveness for the church. The past and yet a bomb, Bonia yet. It will be business and position here then. Obi business and Crusaders, Crusades, so a dear bad year. Now, Crusades, echo by 1095. Now, Roman for your mother said, and come before, and I got to Holy Land. If they say, I could 2 they're just asking. Now, or volunteers are on Becco. Now, Pope, I know Danny Moore, a man's answer me by near friend. Pope Urban II. Now, the speech of the kind are all rally round pilgrims. Edward Macon in book we have friend of the rise of Western civilization. The speech meaning it was all kind of
so page 30 page 353 and you can the chapter 30 the Crusades. You can free second paragraph or say I exhort you to we Urban the second. Yes. Okay. Celebrate on Betias I'm from Free Romra. Okay. In 1095 at the Church's Council of Clermont in southern France, Pope Urban II made an appeal that has been called one of the most effective speeches ever delivered. Or say, I exhort you to strive to expel that wicked race. That's the text from our Christian lands. Christ commands it. Remission of sins will be granted for those going thither. Let those who are accustomed to wage private war wastefully, even against believers, go forth against the infidels. Let those who have lived by plundering be soldiers of Christ. Let those who formerly contend against brothers and relations rightly fight barbarians. Let those who were recently hired for pieces of silver win their eternal reward. When winter has ended and spring has come, enter the highways courageously with the Lord going on before. Of I'm the one I see in the speech. In the speech, no. Same way, no, they can't, yeah, the rally, Emma, we say, any, yeah, caught. You caught near Quack, said you're welcome. And you know, First Crusade, once I'm a crab. Now, I can video. Okay. The First Crusade, okay. The First Crusading army was to assemble in Clermont in August of 1096, month before the official date. However, several large groups of poorly armed and badly provisioned peasants set out for Constantinople. They were divided into 2 bands, one under the leadership of a monk, Peter the Hermit, and the other under a knight, Walter the Penniless. Emperor Alexios was appalled at a disorganized civilian mob that arrived at Constantinople. The result of their effort was tragic but foreseeable. They crossed into Asia Minor and were slaughtered by the Turks. Okay.
A total massacre. First Crusade. Bekunkum nipa obekaya. Your presentation in one of the previous. Bekum elkin kan be say nkramufo mosque kwa. Omo bo mpaye no na. Yakwa akwa yire wo mu na yakika wo mu. Sanity. It's not a complete massacre. Now when we nyina no eno abegina say mfanto. Omo so kuma mu ye omo hu say there be yenso so be crusade ni. Na fe ya beje. Niema abeje. And I confess suicide bombing ni sa Iran niema. I didn't know omo do ya still. No omo. O dey enko hear first video. You're back of your first video. I have to do say History Asia by the time the First Crusade. And you're back of your banner. Outside the television, I said, oh, share.
Yeah, we didn't say, oh, on the phone for a crown yard, so on chapa. A draw back one make for the amount and a HEPA plus. A dry ebenic herbal and a diabajaso. Now, one more monum HEPA plus, and I get to me say, a dudu, one more. Dido Sudi, Yeniba, Yareba, Qua Essa, Yarabia Essa, and until Osha, who Namunas, one chapa, but Modia Sons Abeka HEPA plus. Now, one more monum HEPA plus, and the middle one dance say, a man or more or how Elmo Fichicono. A yeeding in a few homamo, for general well being, the CC Mujam, Nafi. Sisi ya bre boom ema ya ho de nesi pisita mo amope bia to atoni nyina no HEPA plus amon frɛ no e wo 0542778572 ana 0549297463 HEPA plus de e amansan agyatumo nti bomoden se onsa ebeka bi ye first video history Asia mankind the first crusade ye hwe emrasi se ba de aka beto so amamo.
First and foremost, an expression of papal authority against the enemies of the church.
The First Crusade was preached by a pope, Pope Urban II, in France in the year 1095. With reference to the Muslims and their advance in Europe and in Jerusalem, I think the Christians in Europe believed that the Islamic message of Muhammad was against and contradictory to what the Christians were saying. They were worried that this idea could possibly overrun the Christian idea.
Pope Urban conceived this idea. It's not a sin if you kill non-Christians, if you kill non-believers in our faith. And so he made this deal that if you go and fight in the Holy Land, you will be forgiven all your past sins. A knight could sin as much as he liked, and simply by going to the Holy Land, he had been given his passport to heaven. And that was an extremely attractive deal. And combined with that, he could win fame, he could win glory, and he could come back with the treasures of the Near East. These are the things that drew knights in their tens of thousands to go on crusade.
When you think about the brutality of the Crusades, you think about what was done to the people that were there. This flies in the face of what the Christian message is all about.
Remember that these guys embraced the same God, many of the same beliefs, the same prophets, and yet the streets ran deep with their blood. It shows the extraordinary power of ideas to take hold of people's minds and drive them to commit acts of great sacrifice and love on the one hand, but also acts of tremendous barbarity and hatred on the other. It's the double-edged sword of religious belief.
The bloodletting of the Crusaders spread throughout the Islamic lands. Everybody heard stories about the massacre of unarmed individuals. It created this intense rage amongst Muslims. In a sense, it resulted in a new kind of Muslim crusade, a desire to raise an army to go back to liberate Jerusalem from the Crusaders as an act of piety on the part of Muslims.
I don't think any of those young men, either Christian or Muslim, could possibly have imagined that their struggle could possibly still be playing itself out 1,000 years later in the area that we call the Middle East today.
The first video ani akwa shaba no na hwe ntoka na kosu kunkumi aka se di kan ma hu se na sabrim no popo ho no ana na ehom kutupa se omutumi ko eye Holy Land no so na omukoko santokwa no a ofa mu ukra mpa obenya oso ahine mako na eno ene Iran asori a sema be kunkum ihe na naram de ene so tofia kwa Holy Land ni nyina ye beje ofa to asoma me
enti sepo John Paul II because a month and a pass. Now I pass, now go who send you city. Oh, walk in the name of God. So, Japan. After Muslims, and as Ishmaelites, you also are infidels. Ade. Ako yusu bo fo anu ochi sa. Ade nti na eso yesa. Danya no nko a ye ba smoke screen. Last week wakuma reference o ma woko am ehu Libreham. And to kwadi nso ewo mu a ye ba be ho. Na de na wo mu ni say Balkan and I say Croatia near friend Yugoslavia and some neighbor Yugoslavia and to kwabi BCC na Croatia no more government bi na war force bi near friend Ustashe now Ustashe no more idea wo mu nyina ni say Croatia for no say Serbia for omu nipa omu fata endizenke be ya omu convert in free Orthodox Christianity omu Catholics anya sa dia the exterminate omu na Roman asofo as you omu sofo tade egu ho ekohye soldier ntade ekoka forces you am yekunkum small screen ada Roma or the recorded history bi aba yako archives yakonya na yabakin kan first and sana ako video and the country
the Pope despised the Russian Orthodox members. They were called Serbians and they were marked for death in Yugoslavia. In one choice to convert to Catholicism or die. They were why were they killed? Yes. Ida so be Romani and I say koshe. Why were they killed? Why did the Pope have such a vendetta against the Russian Orthodox? As we said in our Crusaders book, the Godfathers, the Communist Party was created by the Vatican to destroy one of her greatest enemies, the Russian Orthodox Church. The communists had double-crossed the Pope and refused to destroy the Russian Orthodox Church members, and at last, Pope Pius XII had created a machine to do what the communists had failed to do. Butcher every Orthodox Church member and their clergy. Let's see how this was accomplished. The Catholic priests changed their robes for the uniforms of the dreaded Ustashe killer squads, and led the most barbaric, brutal race upon those people and practiced satanic torture never before known in this century. We are not talking 800 years ago. We are talking 1940. I was in high school then.
Yeah.
1940, yeah.
No more information. Your book that was published by Czech publication, Jack Czech. Not or rely on this information. Pictures near you. So Roman for in a chassis. And almost sir. And you about no kind be said why Pope Francis isn't welcome in Serbia. Reindeer. What question actually massacre? Now Baba can you pay woo and Sanya for woo. Yes, sir. Title.
Also, why Pope Francis isn't welcome in Serbia? Balkan history considers Roman Catholic clergy responsible for the death of 700,000 Serbs. Jews and Roma killed in the concentration camp Jasenovac, giving the church's close relationship with the Nazi-affiliated independent state of Croatia, as well as the forcible conversions of 240,000 Serbian Orthodox to Roman Catholicism. Wow. 700,000 Serbians.
Yes, all Muslim. Nibi, every Nazi. Oh, to be funny, and I am going to see Serbia. Because I want your car. you will not be welcome.
Wow.
And now, history,
yes.
About that. And they can't religious deception. Any would you to show you say, Masata, Mina Mini, whom you have said they are very pious, but really, the tributes, Moja.
Yes. I share a second video. See the Croatia, Ustashe, the Serbian genocide. Now, you can share Banameka or say, Unya malaria, I said, Rabenomono, your friend Pavi. Na and the plasmos and a plasmos and a malaria to Tatasheno. Now, I know a malaria parasite in a few mono. Now, one on Pavino, and then a young or denso because I know immune booster. As I won't know a year Pavinoa, and no ever share a year or den cana. In the plasmos a malaria parasite in every pedium, Rayana and Cabea, Torben, now Chimino, one on Pavini Pepper, no Sarangela. It to be a baby American so called hospital, now Dr. Catcher said malaria no one, and now has a Yomunamuyono. Now, pharmacy shop will be for a test. Near Catcher said malaria no one, and throw us about Timon, a Pavi and plasma, Sandra Union and Timon. One way back, and Nuna San Juan Mobi, not and one alone. Why yadding in Aquamonia for them up a ground naso. And Timo Mopebi and Tuatoni and Robert Frey a minute heba, or the Hepa plus Berger Soro. On one a Pavia plasma swabber. But Freno, I was 0549 297463 0549 297463 and 0542 778572 0542 778572. Pavia plasma was there. It took malaria, said Tatashe and Mayen. You can a second video or see the Croatian Ustashe, the Serbian genocide, and now a second video of the day.
Dismembered the country. The Germans and Italians took control of most local governments with one inflammatory exception. The Nazis allowed the pro-German Croatians to create an independent state of Croatia in April 1941. The Croats' political leadership, known as the Ustashe, exacted its revenge for years of Serbian domination. Under their checkered flag, they massacred 1/3 of the Serbs in Croatia, along with thousands of Jews and Gypsies, forced many other Serbs into exile, and converted some to Catholicism. Some Nazi SS officers were reportedly horrified over the brutality shown by the Ustashe. Many of the bodies of those murdered were cut up and tossed into the Danube River. Some experts believe that the Vatican may have secretly supported the separatist movement in Croatia. Many Serbs feel that while the Vatican did not condone the murderous tactics of the Ustashe, it did want to see Catholicism become the only religion in Croatia. Within days of Slovenia's newly won independence, the people in the Republic of Croatia voted to nationalize under President Franjo Tuđman. In a macabre sense of defiance, Tuđman brought back the hated Croatian checked flag of World War II as a symbol of Croatian independence. But memories of the hundreds of thousands of Serbs killed by the Ustashe only further enraged the Serbs in Croatia.
I was here, video near Korean, a shot some neck and mukena. Say, or she say, a minor, Uchimu, Emi and San, a Mubako dear, Jamutu, Nina say, or Munya Crado, say, or Mumba converted about Baye, Roman Catholics. Nayania de Soboko Bossum be so mona say, a can or Massa or Moka or Massa Manaman to Mukunkumu. You look at a sumo, or Bimra Sumuno, no man, Yukuno. Offer. You know, I say, perceive her body. Some number, come 7 number. I don't see chin will be Mramidi, Mohammadia.
Every one who said, you can say a sum and a religion. aba edin chichemu na aba
Sir.
edi akunkunkunna sorry as well religious tolerance